Lawyer, academic, and civil rights activist Derek Bell developed a framework for courses while on faculty at Harvard Law School, which studied American law through the vantage point of race and racism. In 1980, Bell resigned from Harvard Law due to what he described as discriminatory practices by the university. Despite his absence, Harvard Law students requested that the teachings of Bell's courses continue, and specifically with professors of color. Harvard essentially ignored the requests of the students and hired a white professor to teach Bell's courses. As an act of protest, a group of Harvard Law students developed an alternative with Bell's book, Race, Racism, and American Law, as the basis for the course. One of those students was legal scholar and civil rights activist Kimberly Crenshaw. In 1989, a workshop coordinated by Crenshaw titled New Developments in Critical Race Theory served as a first meeting with a focus on critical race theory. The workshop paired the theories of critical legal studies with issues related to race within politics. While critical legal studies analyzed the legal system's role in creating and maintaining oppressive legal structures, it did not explicitly factor in race. Following Crenshaw's workshop in 1989, academics began studying and publishing more works with critical race theory as the foundation. Joining us to further discuss is staff writer for The New Yorker, Benjamin Wallace-Wells. His most recent article is How a Conservative Activist Invented the Critical Race Theory. So, how are you, sir? Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it's good to be with you.
So in that intro, I just tried to give like a little bit of background because I'm convinced that no one knows, or very few people know what critical race theory is, and very few people know how it got its origin and what it's meant to do. But using that as a just kind of perfunctory background, now tell us how this relatively obscure concept or theory became the Republican boogeyman.
I mean, I think it's striking, first of all, before we get to that, just to note what a boogeyman it's become. President Trump, the prior president, devoted an executive order to prohibiting critical race theory from being taught anywhere in the federal government. There are more than a dozen state legislatures that have passed or are considering legislation to ban or limit the teaching of what they call critical race theory in schools. You have many senators, conservative media personalities who have made this really their cri de coeur of the moment. I think that panic, that movement, that conservative denunciation of critical race theory has a history which is somewhat separate and much more recent than the intellectual history of critical race theory which you outlined. And I think, the real key here, the real key in the growth of the kind of campaign to denounce critical race theory comes over the last few years. And what we had was, in a broad sense since Ferguson, but much more specifically since George Floyd, we've had corporations, schools, universities adopting anti-racism and anti-seminars much more broadly than they had before. And there are many people who are fans of this kind of intervention, this way of prompting a reckoning with personal bias and with racial history, but it's also created a backlash. And, the activist that I write mainly about is a man named Christopher Rufo, who works for the Manhattan Institute and writes for their journal, City Journal. Manhattan Institute is a sort of center-right think tank. Rufo, when I talked over the past few weeks with staffers of conservative senators, with conservative state legislatures in the states, with people who are on boards formed by, governors and lieutenant governors to consider the progression, the intrusion of what they call critical race theory. And I asked them, where did this come from? They all tended to point me back to Rufo and his reporting. And what Rufo effectively did was
And what is his reporting? What does it say?
Yeah, so what his reporting did was he sort of documented, some of what he would call the kind of excessive or the excesses of anti-racism seminars, again, at corporations, Lockheed Martin, Disney, at schools, at universities. And then he says he, took the materials that were presented in those in those seminars and followed, which are footnoted extensively, and followed the footnotes back through intellectual history, and found that not only do they have a sort of message of anti-racism, but they share a kind of common intellectual spine that he thinks goes back through critical race theory to Marxist theorists of the 1960s. And so, that argument that these seminars that people may be experiencing in their daily life are not just local phenomena, but are part of an ideological program. That's sort of the kind of idea that he's put forth.
So, but see, it seems to me that in some of the legislation that I have seen working its way through and some being passed, there's a conflation of critical race theory, racial diversity training, and actual history.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely true.
The bills basically say that they're banning critical race theory, but they're basically banning the teacher history or anything that will make students uncomfortable hearing.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, when I read the bill, some of them mention critical race theory, some of them don't mention critical race theory. They're just trying to limit what a social studies teacher, for instance, can do in teaching current events. When I read those bills, those seem to me to sort of have the intent or the effect of just sort of preserving blamelessness for white students. There's an effort just to keep any kind of complicated treatment of race out of the classroom. And so, there is a way in which this debate has sort of mushroomed or been shepherded from a kind of local complaint, right, with the anti-racism seminars, to a much more sprawling reaction against any progressive teaching of race, basically anywhere. And so, and Rufo and others are pretty explicit about this. Rufo said to me that he thought the phrase critical race theory was the perfect villain for conservatives, that it was something that would seem to ordinary voters, to ordinary parents, to be something that was sort of foreign, overly intellectual, imposed on them from the academy. And it was something that he thought it could be targeted politically. And so I think you're right.
So it's bumper sticker quality. Is a bumper sticker quality phrase that you don't have to know anything about. It just sounds scary.
Yeah, I think that's basically right. I mean, and again, those are Rufo's own words, the perfect villain. And I think he would argue that there is a connection. There is some legitimacy here because critical race theory is a term that was chosen by theorists. It's a term that when he looks at the brochures and PowerPoints that are distributed in anti-racism seminars and follows the footnotes back, it's the way it's described by the scholars who are cited in those materials. But again, I think that there is a real huge mushrooming here, where, as you say, there's sort of a bumper sticker slogan, an opportunistic slogan around critical race theory that conservative politicians.
I have a minute left. I just want to ask you to kind of pitch out what does this mean? Do we end up with two different kind of cast of educated students that emerge from high schools? Some that have some fuller sense of history, and some for whom that is completely denied. And those are large segments of people, because these are big states, some of them that are banning the teaching of this fuller history. What is the future of this?
Texas, Florida. I'm a little bit skeptical that this campaign is going to be effective at a substantive level. Maybe it'll be effective rhetorically. But when I talk to teachers, to public school teachers in Texas and Florida, they say, I'm not sure this will have a huge effect. The language of the legislation is sort of a way to, it presumes that, what it calls for is a sort of neutrality in presenting current events. There's no mechanism to police it. Debates over current events arise naturally from the students in the class. Maybe it's a way for parents who are politically motivated, who feel like their students are being indoctrinated, to come in and complain to principals. But the teachers that I talk to are not terribly worried that this will have a substantive effect. I think what it is for many Republican politicians is just a way to signal to their base that they're drawing a line in the sand, that they're taking a side on a fight in a fight. I tend to think it matters more as a matter of rhetoric and political positioning than substance.
I certainly hope that you are right, sir. But I am still waiting for the first lawsuit by a parent using these laws as the foundation for their objection to what's being taught in the classroom. I hope you're right.
We'll see.
And I am
it could
wrong.
happen.
But thank you for joining me.
Sure.
Thank you for joining me, sir.
Sure.